Yes, most definitely. Like you said, Indonesia is the world's largest producer of nickel. The country has a major aim to develop its EV manufacturing industry, and they really need lithium for that because Indonesia does not possess reserves of lithium, so they have to import lithium. So lithium and nickel together, they're very important parts of EV batteries. So definitely it is a win-win.
Indeed. The question here, though, is I think the big goal is trying to make sure that they can create value-added jobs and more investments in Indonesia. Now, if you look at the attitude of Eastern companies like from China and South Korea, it seems that they have started to come in and invest in Indonesia and have followed suit. But when you look at the reaction of certain Western blocs like the European Union, they've actually taken Indonesia to the WTO and said that it's against some of the principles of trade, actually. Is this going to perhaps skew a lot of turn Indonesia's EV plants into perhaps a very Asia-centric electric vehicle sector, and in terms of, and also thus impacting also the mineral sector of Indonesia?
Well, to be very honest, this is a global phenomenon. It's not just Indonesia, but most resource-rich countries globally are trying to move up the value chain by embarking on beneficiation plans and vertically integrating their country. So this is a race to secure critical minerals as even general metals get scarce over the years. This is a strategy that most resource-rich countries are employing, and Indonesia is one of the first movers in this, but this is going to be a global phenomenon. So yes, most of the investments in Indonesia with regards to EVs or the downstream sector are dominated by mainland Chinese firms. So this could be to the detriment of the West or certain countries that might have geopolitical tensions with mainland China. But this is the way forward. And Indonesia's aim is to become Asia's largest EV manufacturing hub.
Right. When you look at that chart we brought up a while ago that showed Indonesia, by and large, the biggest producer of nickel. Actually, what was interesting is that the fifth biggest producer of nickel in the world happens to be Australia, with also huge nickel reserves, actually. Could there come a time, maybe down the road, where Australia looks at it and says, hey, you know what, I've got nickel, I've got a lot of lithium, what if I just do this on my own? Is there a risk of that actually happening? Or is this going to be something that perhaps Indonesia and Australia can actually come to cooperate on, despite some of these potential risks?
So there are a lot of possibilities. That is right. Australia is also a major producer of nickel and lithium together. So Australia could, in fact, start their own EV manufacturing hub as well. There is no saying that they won't. But at the same time, there is a lot of space for both countries to do so. There's demand for, there's accelerating demand over the coming decades for EV vehicles. So there's definitely space for both of them to coexist.